Hello, everybody. My name is Anne Costello, and I'm delighted to be here for Think People to do a session on Introduction to Mindfulness. I see people are still coming in, so I'm just going to keep it light for a minute and just maybe take a moment just to make yourself comfortable. We will be doing a mindful eating practice, so maybe it'd be a good time to check if there's something small, like a grape or a piece of fruit or a piece of a biscuit or a sweet, something small that you can practice with. It'll only be a 3 or 4 minute practice, so nothing much. And then just to also make sure that your phones are switched off and that you have a little bit of peace and quiet. It's a beautiful day here in Belfast. Great to be having this moment to be with you. And I hope your day has actually flew in 4 o'clock. Can't believe it. So I hope that you've had a good day so far and that things have gone well for you today. And just move on to the next screen. We can just start slowly into the hour we have. At the end, there will be opportunities to leave comments, any questions that you have, any comments at all. You want me to get back to you on anything? My website will be at the end, my email address, and hopefully you will find this hour helpful. It's a very, very hard time now. We're all going through lots of ups and downs. And just staying cheerful and staying in good spirits is difficult because there's so many things that are going on that we have no control of. We see them for our children and their schools, for young adults, as regards what work are they going to get when they get out of university, or those that have been laid off from jobs, what's going to happen for them. And then we look at self-employed people, knowing rightly that some businesses will never open again. And then when we think of people in nursing homes, the elderly not being able to see their grandchildren, and then grandmoms not being able to see their little ones. So it's all in all, it's challenging times, but we're here to work on that and see how can we bring a little bit of calm and a little bit of clear perspective to what's happening with us, and also a little bit of self-care and a little bit of compassion. And on that note, I'm just going to move to my next slide. And this is our plan for today, which is talk a bit about what is mindfulness, why practice mindfulness, and then how to practice mindfulness. You may have come last week, so if you did, welcome back. And there may be some new people here, so this will be new to you. Or there may be people that know a fair bit about mindfulness and could probably tell me a bit at the end of the session. So you are all welcome. This is where I trained. I'm from County Clare, but I lived in Boston for 15 years as a public health nurse. But I also trained at the Center for Mindfulness in Massachusetts. And that was founded by John Kabat-Zinn, who's one of the great pioneers of mindfulness over the last 40 years. So we're going to look at what is mindfulness? What does it mean to be mindful? And this is the definition, which in itself could take a whole day. So I'll go through the definition of what mindfulness is. So it's paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, without judgment, to things as they are. So paying attention is really difficult. We know that the mind wanders 47% of the time. So only half of our waking day are we actually paying attention. Do you ever find that you drove the car somewhere and didn't realize how you got there, didn't remember any of the trip? Or have you ever been at talking to somebody and realizing that your mind was wandering halfway through the conversation, you had zoned out? Or were you ever at your worktop with your phone beside you and you noticed that maybe 20 times you checked your phone, that your mind wandered to maybe there's somebody checking in with me, I want to go and check my phone. So that's what mind wandering is about. And it wanders to the past or to the future. And it's difficult to be in the present moment, especially the moment we have right now. We'd much prefer if it was back to last January when we made all our plans, or we'd prefer if we were ahead into, I don't know, September, October, when we're out of here, and hopefully that things will be better. So being in the present moment and accepting things as they are is difficult. And it's a difficult challenge. But if we're not in this moment, then what moment are we in? We can't be in the next moment because it's not here yet. And the last moment is just gone. So it's looking at this moment and learning to be present for the good stuff and the bad stuff, to be present for both, to things just the way they are right now, and to be able to hold it all without falling apart. So again, just a look at the way when we go somewhere, for example, a little walk in nature, like this little doggy, who do you think is having the best walk with the clearest mind? Our mind follows us everywhere, and our thoughts take up a lot of energy, especially if they're worrying thoughts, negative thoughts, frustration, anger, etc. Our thoughts can take up our whole space. And the thing is that if we want to access what these thoughts are doing, we need to come to a place where the dog is, a little place of stillness. Because our body sensations and our behavior and our moods, they're all affected by how we think. So if you were having a fabulous thought, then you're going to have a good mood and your body's going to feel relaxed. If you're stressed out, then you're going to be sending cortisol and adrenaline, the hormones of stress, around your body, and you're not going to be in a good mood. So mindfulness brings us to a place like where the dog is, where we can hold all that's happening and contain it, using our own inner resources without feeling overwhelmed. So it's a little oasis where we can drop into and have a clear mind about what's happening. As Mark Twain says, my life is filled with one catastrophe after another, most of which never happened. So it's just to be aware of the catastrophizing mind, where it can lead us to sometimes. So like I said, mindfulness is about being aware of just what we were talking about there, being aware of what's happening inside us. So it's an internal journey. It's a life skill that we can draw upon anytime. It's mind training. So it's training the mind to observe the catastrophes, the worries, and not react, just to observe them. And when anxiety arises and stress arises, to just remain calm under the whole flurry of activity, and just drawing upon the breath then to help calm down our central nervous system. So this is why we should practice, because it helps regulate our emotions. Do you ever hear anybody say, let me catch my breath? You know, just things are just going too fast. I need to just take stock, catch my breath. It's on the same lines of that. Just coming to a stop, pause, where we can take a chance to actually begin to understand what's going on in our brain what's going on with our thoughts, what's going on with our body, and what's the wisest choice to make. And it helps our levels of well-being by bringing down the stress levels in the body. So helping our immune system, decreasing our blood pressure, helping us feel less anxious in the body. And of course, it's evidence-based. Over the last 40 years, the amount of evidence on mindfulness-based stress reduction, especially the 8-week program, is phenomenal. And mindfulness, of course, is being used by all sorts of companies, in schools. I teach mindfulness for children myself as well, in institutions, in universities, in hospitals, in business, and sport. In this day and age where things are going to be coming to be so competitive, somebody who is has good self-regulation in the workplace and is resilient is going to be somebody that's going to be in keen demand as we move forward. Somebody who has a sense of what's happening with them and what's happening with others. Some empathy and compassion. So we're just going to do a practice now, and this will be more than 3 minutes. It will be a bit longer. So just want you to be able to come into a comfortable position, just sitting upright. And I'll ring this bell just to let everybody know it's time. So if you have a phone on or a distraction, try and just maybe close the door, give yourself some space, and we'll just spend the next 5 minutes or so just sitting in silence, and I will lead you through this meditation. So we'll start when I sound this bell. So just bringing yourself now to a comfortable position, sitting upright, but not uptight. You can bring your bum back to the back of the chair. And just breathe in and bring your shoulders up to your ears, and then breathe out and relax your shoulders down from your ears. So noticing first now what's happening in the body. Check in with your feet. Notice your feet on the floor. That sensation of being grounded through your feet, the soles of the feet on the floor. Notice the soles of the feet on the floor. And then notice your arms on your lap. And notice your elbows by your side. Notice the shoulders, and maybe breathing in, bring your shoulders up to your ears, and then breathing out, relaxing your shoulders down and away from your ears. And then just sitting here in stillness, just aware of what's happening in the body. And now connect with your breathing. And you may want to bring your gaze towards the floor or close your eyes. Just arriving in this pause. Sensing a deepening attention so that you can feel the body right now. And taking a full few cycles of breathing, inhaling deeply and exhaling fully. Inhaling deeply and exhaling fully. And as you inhale deeply, filling the lungs, holding for a moment, and then exhaling slowly and completely. Continue to follow the breath now in a natural way. Just relax with the breath. And as the breath comes in, opening to receiving. And with the out breath, letting go and releasing. As the breath comes in, opening to receiving. And with the out breath, letting go and releasing. So as you sit quietly, you may like to pay attention to the body and notice if there are any areas of tension or tightness in the body. Attention resting on the shoulders, maybe relaxing there a little. Noticing the face, allowing the face to soften a little. Just relax in this non-doing. Notice if there are any other areas of holding in the body or tension where you think that you hold tension. Jaw, the chest, the tummy, the lower back, the upper back. Allowing these areas to release, to soften and relax to whatever degree is possible right now. And just bringing your attention now to thoughts and emotions that may be present. Just watching your thoughts flowing in and out. Notice your patterns of thinking. There may be negative patterns where you think things never go right for me. And maybe see if you can change that pattern to things are fine. I'm okay. This is good enough. I'm doing my best. So now I invite you to come back to feeling the breath, feeling the body, and just allowing this pause to support you and feel centered and open as we re-enter back to this moment. Thank you. So if you want to just stretch your arms above your head, give yourself a good stretch. Breathe in and then breathe out. Take your hands forward. So just do a tiny bit of yoga for the neck. So just neck stretches. Bring your head to the right. Right ear towards right shoulder. And back to center. And then bring your head to the left. Left ear towards left shoulder. And back to center. And then breathe in, and as you breathe out, bring your chin forward to your chest. Just the head is moving. And then just lift your head. Turn to the right and back to center. And turn to the left and back to center. Very good. Oops. Just continue on with the next slide. This is another practice which is very good and very brief. It's called the 20-second pause. And this is when you use just 4 breaths to catch yourselves in moments of stress and anxiety. So I could say the perfect example is if you're trying to work from home and the children run in and out, or the dog runs in and out and they spill your tea or your coffee. It's just that moment when you just want to react and you just get that surge from your tummy and you feel like getting really angry. And when you step back and you just take your breaths. So you don't have to close your eyes. You don't do anything like that. You just breathe for 4 breaths. And while you're breathing, you're aware of your body, tension in your body. You're stepping back from your thoughts. You're thinking, I feel like shouting. Take another breath. Just hold it for another minute. Take another breath. And then after 4 breaths, you just say, what the heck? Let's just cool down here. So it's called the 20-second pause, and it's very powerful. Just show you how it's used. So this is how we use the 20-second pause. You can use it in the morning before you start your computer. Just go, okay, let me just get my mindset right. Taking a moment just to take your breaths, to ask yourself how you would like this day to go, not how your mind would like it to go, but how do you want it to go? Do you want to be calm? Do you want to be kind to yourself? Do you want the day to run smoothly? And just to set your day and set your intention, calm and center yourself, and then open your computer. Another time is before taking a difficult phone call. You may be thinking about this phone call for a long time before it actually comes up. So just be aware of what thoughts are going through your head about the phone call and how upsetting are you already before it even happens. So just notice that's your mind. So you are not your mind. These are thoughts that are going on. So step back from them, take your breaths, and then pick up the phone with a nice, clear mind and a calm intention. Between meetings, the same thing. Just to be aware, it's always good, of course, to get up and walk around if you can. Sometimes we can't. So before you start the next meeting, make sure that you've come to a place where you've just been able to check in, see how you're doing, see how you're feeling. If you're feeling upset, you may need to go for a few minutes for a walk, make yourself a cup of tea, whatever, get a drink of water. So checking in to see how you're doing. And then dealing with the challenges of working from home. I have 4 sons, so I have it all the time as well, just trying to get a bit of space, trying to get a bit of calm, trying to eat when you want to eat, children's running in and out, being called here, there, and everywhere. So it's a brilliant time to practice what we're trying to do, which is to stay calm, be patient, think clearly, observe our thoughts. So this is the arena, this is the learning from home. If you can do it now, you can do it in other difficult circumstances. This is where you're building the resilience now. And then dealing with difficult experiences in everyday life. And just knowing your stress triggers, knowing how you need to plan your day so that you're not getting as stressed as you normally would, so that you have plans as to how to plan every hour as best you can. Take your breaks, take your mindful walk, to get away from your desk, to do some stretching, just to be aware of what your body needs. It's going to tell you if we take the time to listen. It will tell you what it needs. So now's the fun part. We're going to do some mindful eating. So just to invite you to take your time now. We've got a good while for this. I want you to be able to find some food. If you weren't here for the beginning, please feel free to get up and to find some food, and we will start in a few minutes with our mindful eating. And I can be talking away about mindful eating while I'm waiting for people to come in. And the whole purpose of mindful eating is that oftentimes we eat without even thinking about what's going into our mouths. We live so much of our time on autopilot. If you think back to times where you ate and we talk so much, maybe we're on our phones, maybe we're watching TV, and we're not even noticing the flavor or the aroma or the taste of the food that we're eating. And there's an awful lot of research done on mindful eating and how it's so good for our system. It's another way of slowing down. It's another way of paying attention to the moment on purpose. As John Kabat-Zinn has mindful eating in his very first week of the 8-week Mindfulness Based Stress Reduction program. It's about mindful eating and how to respect and cherish the food we eat and really, really taste what we eat. Because when we eat food slowly, first of all, we use our teeth, which is what they're there for, to break down the food. And then under the tongue, there is enzymes that also break down the food that we eat before it reaches the stomach, so that it is broken up into little pieces and we can digest it so much better when we are eating mindfully. And if we were able to talk over and back, I would ask you all the different reasons that we eat food. And we would probably look at, we eat it, of course, for nourishment. Also eat food for comfort. And I think a lot of us, all my friends and myself, are doing it at nighttime anyway. It's, more chocolate and maybe some crisps and biscuits, and maybe we're making apple crumble or experimenting with desserts. So it's very easy to comfort ourselves with food. When we're stressed, it's the one thing that the body's looking for is sugar. So it doesn't go for an omelette. It wants simplest form of sugar. Of course, that's sweets or biscuits. We also eat more when we're bored. We also eat out of habit, like when we go to the movies. If we ever get back there again, we're having our drinks and our popcorn and loads of M&Ms or whatever sweets. So that's a kind of a habit forming. So we eat a lot of the time on autopilot, where we're not even aware and not noticing the amount of biscuits or sweets that we've eaten or how big our portions are. Or sometimes we don't even know if we're full or not. We're not fully aware if we've eaten enough. So this mindfulness eating is about eating in the moment. So just invite you to take whatever it is that you've decided that you want to eat. And we're going to look at the texture and the size and the color. This is imagining that you're eating a plate of food. And then we're going to bring it to our nose and get the smell, flavor. And then take it away. And when you're ready, after bringing some gratitude to this moment, I know you've waited now a while, I invite you to put it in your mouth. And then just sit back and try not to crunch. Try to, if it's a sweet, let the chocolate melt. If it's a fruit, to slowly break it up, chew slowly. And the same if it's a biscuit or if it's whatever it is. Just close your eyes. Take a moment then to enjoy and see what happens as we eat slowly and mindfully. So, of course, the emotions are part of all of this. And just notice any thoughts coming into your head. Maybe a thought of, I'd never do this. This is ridiculous. How could you be taking that long around food? Notice that's a thought. Now come back to actually mindful eating. Just let that thought go. And maybe you could replace it with, this is wonderful. I'm really slowing down and tasting this food. So it's your choice. And just continue to notice and observe. Taking your time, notice if your mind is wandering. Where is it wandering to? And then just coming back. Evening time, it's time for you to slow down anyway. There's nothing to rush to. So let's just be in this moment together. Just enjoying this moment. So I invite you now to take the next bit of food that you're about to eat and do the same. Take a look. Totally observe like you never saw the food before. Open-minded awareness. And then just take a smell. Taking in just a smell which activates the glands under your tongue. I feel your mouth getting full of saliva now. And then slowly placing food into your mouth. Sitting back now. And just start to slowly chew. Becoming aware of all the flavors, texture. Breathing in and breathing out. Notice if your mind has become distracted and just come back to the mindful eating. Just being fully present in this moment. Noticing body sensations, noticing sounds, noticing thoughts coming and going, but always coming back to this moment. So, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. And maybe this is a very practical practice that you can add to making the pause, that mindful pause, that you could add to your life. So I'd suggest that you make out a little sticker with the word pause and put it up in your bedroom, in the bathroom, first thing in the morning when you get up. Take a pause, think about your day, think about how you'd like it to go, make an intention for the day. I plan that this day will go well. I want this day to go well. And I will stay as mindful as I possibly can, checking in, seeing how things are with me. Then as you come to your meal, that will be 4 times a day. Maybe you could take part of that meal and eat it mindfully. Or maybe you could have a cup of tea out in the back garden, listening to the birds. Sorry about the outside noise now. My neighbor's cutting the lawn. But focusing on listening to the birds, listening to nature, and that is another beautiful mindful moment. And that's something I'd love to discuss more with you, is how absolutely fantastic nature has been since we went into the COVID-19 crisis. I know that here in Northern Ireland, we had 40 days of sunshine, and that meant families were getting out together, families were walking together, families were connecting, having some fun together as they were out in nature. And that's a very, very big part of mindfulness, is walking in nature. And I would encourage you the next time you go out to take a moment to actually be in nature, be in the moment, noticing the sounds around, looking at all the beautiful trees and bushes and other people and birds, and if you're walking near a lake, a river, or the sea, just really taking it all in, noticing your sensations of your feet on the floor, on the ground as you're outside, and maybe if you want to hug a tree or just hold a leaf for a little while. This can be really, really, really calming and centering, what we call meditations. Any way you look at it, it's scientifically proven that being out in nature is so good for your mental health. Bird sounds are so good. The rustling of trees is so good. The listening to the ocean. All of these deep effects on our mental health. So, if at all possible, try to get out in nature as much as you can, as while we're still pretty much on lockdown, or we're moving slowly, but at the same time we have to be cautious. But we are allowed our uh, walk in nature, which is fantastic, and just to cherish that being out. And you can also have the same experience in your backyard. If for some reason that you can't go for a longer journey, you can go out to your backyard or front yard and just sit there and take in that sunshine and take in the breeze, take in whatever nature gives you that day, because it keeps us away from our thoughts, brings us to the present moment. It's very healing. It's a tremendous thing to do before going to sleep. It's going to help us with our sleep. And that's another area that I want you to be very, very, I suppose, strong about, is getting your 8 hours sleep, coming into a pattern where you have your sleep and that you take it seriously, and that you head up to bed, at a reasonable hour between, I suppose, 10 and 10:30 would be great to get your 8 hours sleep, because without sleep, we're not going to be able to concentrate. We're not going to be able to focus. We're not going to be in good form. We're going to be really cranky. And that's incredible amount of science around that, because I do sleep workshops. So getting your sleep is going to make you so much better the next day. Adding in your mindful awareness, your mindfulness practices will also keep you regulated and keep you from losing your balance and getting out of your flow. Because nobody wants to live like that. We need to be kind and compassionate and caring, and to ourselves and others. So I would like to do a final meditation for you. This is the walking meditation that I spoke about, and also the saying that in the shelter of each other, it is in the shelter of each other that people live, meaning that not alone as a community, but also with nature. Our nature has been our wonderful companion through this time. And also the fact that we're so caring for each other, most of us anyway, are so caring, not leaving anybody behind, watching out for neighbors. So although the COVID-19 pandemic isn't ideal, it has brought out those wonderful attributes of empathy, compassion, looking out for, watching, calling up people that are in need, helping homeless people and people through food banks, really caring for the NHS and doing everything we can to show our appreciation. So all of these are wonderful mindfulness traits as well, of empathy and compassion and working from the heart more. So I would like to do a meditation for you. These are just apps, etc. I'll tell you about after. But I think we can, coming up to 1:45, so at least we'll finish off with another short meditation, and then at 10 minutes to 4, we'll have questions and answers. So just ring the bell one more time. And just inviting you now to come to stillness again, to drop into the body. Noticing the feet on the floor, noticing your body on the chair, your elbows by your side, your hands on your lap. Just taking this moment again out of your busy day, stepping out of clock time, just coming to this moment. Just dropping in to the here and now. Sitting upright but not uptight, so relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. Noticing any sensations now in the body, any areas of tension or tightness. Checking in with your mood, checking in with how you're feeling. And just saying to yourself, if it's anxious, say, I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling lost or vulnerable or frustrated. Or I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling supported. Whatever the emotion is, recognize it, bring it in close. Just try and absorb it into the body. And we'll do a calming breathing breath now to help. So just notice the breath as you breathe in and out. And you can notice it on the tummy this time. If you want to place a hand on your tummy, just notice the breath at the tummy. Notice how the tummy expands on the in-breath and relaxes on the out. The in-breath following the out-breath. That's all. Nothing else. If the thoughts come in, recognize them, and then just come back to your breathing. And I'd like you to think of something that's positive that happened today. Something that you're grateful for that happened today. And now visualize how you'd like to see the rest of the day unfold. How you'd like to see the rest of the day unfold. A plan for you for the rest of the day. How you can stay calm and centered, taking care of yourself. And then just slowly open your eyes. Thank you so much. I hope we have some questions, but I have just put up some information for you. Every Tuesday evening, I do a mindfulness session, so I'll put that link up on my website. I've also got some recordings in my blog area and COVID-19, some recordings for you, some meditations. And then these are books, of course, John Kabat-Zinn, the most famous mindfulness teacher, one of the most famous, that should say Full Catastrophe Living. Full Catastrophe Living. And then The Mindful Way Through Depression, Mindless Eating, a wonderful book, The Mindfulness Path to Self-Compassion. Then you've got your apps and Headspace, and of course books on Audible, and then some other websites. There's a one, Aware NI. I work for Aware NI, and on Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays I do mindfulness sessions there for free. It might be booked up for May, but more will be on for June. So brilliant. I hope to get to meet someday. If you have any questions, just email me. And also, hopefully with chat box, we'll get going. Hopefully there's something on, you have some questions for me. Bethany there?
Yes, I just have an audience question. If you just go into your chat.
Go into my chat. All right.
I can read it for you. In fact, it's how should I manage overcrowded thoughts when trying to get to sleep?
Yes, yeah. The thing called the body scan. The body scan, it's a mindful meditation. That's going to help you. First of all, I would say after 6 o'clock, no arguments with anybody in the household. Try and go for your walk to try and calm down excess anxiety that is built up in the body. And then I find the best is to say, is just to let go of what I can't control. Try and realize that we can't control what's going to happen in the future. So there's no point in worrying about it. So calming yourself with the body scan meditation or any mindfulness meditation, then just changing your mindset towards problems and anxiety that you may have, just to say, I can't control this. I may as well work with what I can control. And so just bringing awareness to how much stress you think that you're carrying. Try and let go of some. Journaling is also good. Maybe calling a friend or somebody if you have anxiety building up that you want to talk to. And just letting whatever happened in the day go. And that will be a great relief to your body. And doing a mindful meditation or yoga or music, see what it is that brings you the best happiness has in the past. So to do something positive for yourself. Thank you.
And Anne, I will just give you a final one. Any ways to encourage the kids to join in?
Encourage the kids to join in
with mindfulness practice.
Yeah. What I teach mindfulness in schools, and I have this little hand meditation. I could finish off with that I do. There's loads of meditations for children too on mindfulnessinschools.org. But if you can take your hand out like this, do we have time for this, Bethany? This little quick meditation.
People are still here. You go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So have your hand out like that, and with the forefinger of the opposite hand, just breathe in up along your thumb and breathe out down the other side. Breathe in up along the forefinger. This is what you'll have the children do with you. Breathing out. Breathe in up along the middle finger and breathe out on the other side. Breathe in up along the second finger, the ring finger, and breathe out. And continue breathing in and breathing out. Come all the way down to your wrist and cross over again. If they do that anytime that they're feeling anxious, it's like their 20-second pause. And I'd be very honest with them and say, I'm anxious, I'm upset, but I know I'm going to do my breathing. I know how to get out in the fresh air. I know how to be kind to myself. And that's the way you should be too. So teach them that just the breath, to sit quietly and to let the anxiety just dissolve itself in the system, and then try and emulate positive things. If you do positive things with them, that's how they learn and grow to be positive, resilient people. So if you've got art or if you've got something planned, we're always going to do something that's fun during the day. and say it's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel upset, and just let them be with these emotions, but always be close to them and hug them and hold them, and just say we're all going to go through this together. Thank you for that question. Any other
Brilliant.
questions?
And that is all the questions we have just now.
Great.
So thank you very much. We
My
have been
pleasure.
recording the webinar, so Anne's wisdom will be on our website. Thank you very much, Anne, and everybody for joining.
That's great. Thank you, Bethany, for coordinating.
No problem at all. And thank you. And we will hopefully see you again.
I hope so. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a lovely rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.